Hello. So I have my setup going on over here. I have added already my trans-sylvine into this round bottom along with my 10 mils of ethanol. And prior to doing that, I rinsed all this glassware with ethanol, not acetone, because we didn't want to get any byproducts reacting with the hydrogen peroxide or hydrobromic acid. I have a star bar in there, and I'm about to start it heating. I've also turned my condenser on. You can see that it is a good level because there's no bubbles. It's completely full. And I have my HBr and my hydrogen peroxide ready to go, as well as my jack to lower in case I have to take it off the heat for whatever reason. So I'll now get this to reflux and then I'll check back in. Alright, so we're back. And now our solution is pretty much approaching reflux. As you can see, we have a lot of condensation on this round bottom as well as dripping. It's dripping down, and it's bubbling pretty actively. So I would say that this counts as reflux. Even though in the handbook it recommends you wait until it comes to here, sometimes it doesn't always do that. Also, this tells us that our condenser is working pretty hard. We're not letting any vapors escape because this cool water is ensuring that it comes back down so we can have the top open. So anyways, now that we are refluxing and we're stirring, I'm going to add first my drops of hydrobromic acid and then my hydrogen peroxide. So we're supposed to add about 0.8 mils of hydrobromic acid, which if you consider the fact that a drop is approximately 0.05 mils, that means about 16 drops of this and about 6 drops of this. So if we're lucky, we are probably about to see a color change once we start adding hydrogen peroxide. But first I'm going to do the drops of hydrobromic acid. This is something you should always handle in the hood. From another angle, let's do our drops of this first. So try to stick it down if possible. I'm going to try to avoid the sides. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's important to do this drop-wise because anytime you're working with anything more reactive than usual, you don't want to add a ton at once. That could release a lot of heat and be not so good. So drop-wise is the way to go. Okay, just 3 more. Alright, that should be good for that. And now we're going to add our drops of hydrogen peroxide. So we're going to do 6 of these. Hopefully it will change color once we do that. So oh, look at that. Oh, zoom in on that. Look at that. Look at that nice lemony color that we're getting. Very exciting. Look at that bright red hue. Okay. So let's just try to get that down all the way. At this point you could also rinse with ethanol if you got a bunch of it on here, but I think we've pretty much kept it clean. So basically what we're going to do now is reflux this for 20 more minutes. Hopefully it's going to go back to being cloudy white. That's what we're expecting. And then once we do that, we will check back in. Alright, just checking back in with a quick update because our product has undergone a delightful color change. So as you can see, we're now milky white and in fact refluxing very actively. You can kind of tell because there's some condensation up here as well as an active drip coming from here. So I would say that since the yellow has pretty much vanished and we've gotten that cloudy white that we were looking for, now is a good time to take it off the heat. I left it on for a few extra minutes. That's always a good idea, but yeah, extra minutes over. So I'm going to let this come to room temperature and then we will come back. Alright, our reaction mixture has now cooled to room temperature. I have taken it off the heat and turned off the heat, and now I am going to neutralize this mixture because if you recall, we did add a strong acid and we would like to neutralize that. So I'm going to be using some sodium bicarb, and I have my pipette here and my glass rod, and I will right now. sometimes these can act like NMR tubes and hide, but I got this one. Alright, so here's my pH paper as well. So I've seen this take forever, and I've also seen this take no time at all, so we're going to find out together how long this is going to be. We should be seeing some stuff crash out. There is definitely already a certain amount of precipitate going on in here, but yeah. So I added that, and I immediately could see some bubbles. So actually, yeah, let's see where we were starting off at. Up here. Yes, not surprisingly, it looks like we're starting off pretty acidic. So like 1 to 2 to 3 maybe. Yeah, so we're gonna try to see if I can break that. We don't use a ton. So this is probably gonna take a lot of sodium bicarb. And you guys are gonna watch every minute of it. Oh, look at that! Did you see that? Things are really starting to precipitate out. So you can see as I add, do you see how a whiter cloud is starting to form? So it's good progress. Love to see that. Let's see how we're doing now. I need a chem light. BRB. Okay, I'm back. How are we doing? Still very acidic. Yay. More fun. So if you recall, there used to be like a clear layer on the top, and now it's kind of becoming cloudy. So that's a good sign. Check again. Kids. Oh! Behold! We have done very well. Got up to 7. Alright, that'll do. That'll do it. So, what I'm going to do now is put that into the ice bath that I have right here so that it can continue to recrystallize out of the solution. And I'm going to let it stay there for about 10 minutes probably. And then we're going to collect our crystals. Alright, so now the sample has been cooling for quite some time. Actually, here's a useful life hack that I got from a student who I saw doing this. Just put the cork thing on here and it won't like turn over and fall. So yeah, we are fully cooled down. I'm going to take my condenser down real quick. So probably be a good idea to turn off the water.
Yes. I turned it off already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, John. That's what friends are for. And then, yeah, keeping the tubes over the sink is the best way to get this to drain in a painless way without spilling water everywhere. So, get that out. Down there. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to leave it to drain on its own time. And now, we are going to vacuum filter. John, stop texting. Pay attention to me. Okay. Now that I've roasted John. Oh shit, I forgot something. Okay, 1 second.
I wonder if we're going to edit this out. Now we have
Guest
to.
star, are you still filming?
Yes.
Oh good, we got that guest star appearance from Madeline. Okay, anyways, here's my vacuum setup. I have already dampened my filter paper with a little bit of ethanol. So now I'm going to turn on the vacuum. You can tell it's on when it starts hissing like that. So yeah, great, pulling vacuum. And now I'm going to just elegantly dump my round bottom into my vacuum filter. I've got this because my store bar is actually still in here, so I don't want my store bar to get in there, so I'm just gonna kind of grab onto it like so, and here we go. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for that to go down. Luckily, most of it actually got out of the flask on the first try. I'm probably going to rinse with a little bit of cold ethanol to get the rest of this out. But yeah, we're just going to let that filter down. Currently rinsing with cold ethanol. Don't want to redissolve anything. Okay, now we're going to pop that in. My good intentions were ruined by my vigorous shaking. That's very hard to hear. Sometimes that happens, but okay. No big deal. Not a big deal. Oh. See, it's got product all over it. This is why I was trying to avoid this. But we adapt and overcome. Just gonna get off of there. Get off of there. Alright, good enough. Good enough. Okay, so now we're going to dry this. Can I let that dry? And then what we're going to do is take a melting point, an NMR, and a weight of this so we can see what our percent yield is. And that will about wrap up our experiment today. Thanks for tuning in to my cooking channel. Next week, we're making spaghetti.